Lonely rancher found an Apache warrior girl caged at auction for $5, and gave her his ranch a name. You ever seen something so wrong that your heart just won't let you walk away? That's how it all started, on a dusty afternoon in a forgotten desert town, where a man who had no one saw a girl who'd lost everything. Stay with me till the end, because what he did next didn't just change her life, it saved his soul. And if this story touches you, like it touched me writing it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. These stories are how we remind ourselves that even in a broken world, healing is possible. Elijah Carson was known to most folks in Arizona as the quiet man out past Devil's Bend. 52 years old, weathered like the land he tilled, with hands that hadn't known a soft thing in decades. His ranch stretched wide, but his house felt empty. His wife had passed 16 years earlier, taking their unborn child with her. Since then, Elijah spoke more to his horses than people, and when he did ride into town, it was only for tools, feed, or the occasional letter from a sister he hadn't seen in 10 years. One July morning, Elijah saddled up and rode into town for nothing more than nails and coffee beans. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. The town square was crowded that day, unusually so. People gathered near the center where a rickety wooden platform had been raised. Elijah tied his horse and made his way through the crowd, curiosity prickling at the back of his neck. What he saw stopped him cold. There, in a rusted iron cage, sat a young Apache girl, barely 17 by the looks of her. Her face was bruised, her wrists bound. Men in filthy hats laughed and jeered while a toothless auctioneer shouted prices like he was selling cattle. $5, she's strong. Look at the arms on her. A real savage warrior, good for field work, maybe more if you train her right, ha. The crowd roared with laughter. Elijah didn't laugh. She looked up once, just once, and their eyes met. And in that single second, something shattered inside him. Not pity. No, not that. It was deeper. Recognition. He saw her pain, her pride, her fury. She wasn't broken yet, but she was close. The same look his wife had when the fever took her, too proud to beg for help, but desperate for someone to see her. Without a word, Elijah stepped forward. The crowd quieted a little when they recognized the loner from Devil's Bend. The auctioneer chuckled nervously. "Old man, this one's not for folks like you. You want a kitchen girl, try the next block." Elijah reached into his coat, pulled out $5, and said, "She's mine now." There was silence. Then the auctioneer snatched the bills, keys clanked, and the cage door swung open. The girl didn't move. Elijah held out his hand. She stared at it. For 10 long seconds, nobody breathed. Then, slowly, she reached up and placed her bound fingers in his palm. They walked out of town together, side by side. He didn't speak until they reached the edge of the desert. He offered her his canteen and finally said, "I'm Elijah. You?" Her voice was cracked, but strong. "Nayland." He nodded. "You're safe now, Nayland." She didn't answer, but she drank the water. At the ranch, Elijah gave her the guest room, clean clothes his wife had once folded for a child that never came, and food. She didn't say much. She didn't trust him. Why would she? But over the weeks, something shifted. He noticed how she tended the horses. How she whispered an Apache to the wild one no one could ride. How she watched the sunrise like it told her secrets. She began helping with chores without being asked. Fixed the broken gate. Cleaned the barn. Made a stew that reminded Elijah of his mother. One evening, while they sat on the porch, Nayland finally asked, "Why'd you buy me?" Elijah looked at her long and hard. "I didn't buy you. I rescued you." "Same thing," she whispered. "No," he said, shaking his head. "Buying something means you own it. I gave $5 to break the lock on a cage. That's all." She didn't respond, but the next morning, she called him, Elijah, for the first time. As the months passed, the ranch changed. Laughter returned. The wild horse let Nayland ride it. Elijah built her a forge after she said she wanted to work iron like her grandfather. She carved tribal markings into the walls of the barn and taught him what they meant. He listened. She healed, but the past has long arms. One winter evening, 3 men rode in, men who had been at that auction. drunk, angry, demanding their property. Nayland froze. Elijah stepped in front of her, shotgun in hand. "You'll ride off now," he told them. They spat, cursed, raised rifles. 2 shots rang out. Only Elijah fired. The third man ran. Nayland stood behind him, trembling. He lowered the gun, turned to her, and said, "As long as I breathe, no one cages you again." She broke down. For the first time since he'd known her, she wept. Not quietly. Not like a warrior. But like a daughter who finally found her father. Later that spring, Elijah called the lawyer from Tucson. He signed his will, transferring the ranch to Miss Nayland Ayasha Carson. When the lawyer raised an eyebrow, Elijah simply said, "She's my kin now." That's all the truth anyone needs. By the following year, Nayland ran the ranch. Elijah taught her everything he knew. They built a school for Apache and settler children. She taught them to read, to ride, and to fight with honor. He sat on that same porch, older now, watching her with a proud smile. And on the day Elijah passed, the entire valley mourned. Settlers, Apaches, ranchers, all came to say goodbye to the man who gave a girl more than freedom. He gave her a name, a place, a future, and Nayland. She never left the ranch, but she opened its gates wider than ever. She named the school after him. She told his story to every child that came through. And every spring, when the wild horses ran through the valley, she'd ride the same one he gave her, and whisper to the wind, "Thank you." So if this story moved you, if you believe, like I do, that love is sometimes quiet and sacrifice doesn't always wear a hero's badge, then click that like button and subscribe for more stories that remind us what we're capable of. Because somewhere out there, someone's still watching for a hand to reach through the cage, and someone else is ready to offer theirs.